Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Punky's World. I got another thing for me to fix. Let's see if I can do it. Let's give it a college dropout try. Come on. We have another thermoelectric wine refrigerator. This is a Wine Enthusiast 18 bottle, 2-zone touchscreen refrigerator. Model number 272031806. It doesn't turn on. Let's start with the smoke test, as I like to call it. Here we go. Is it gonna catch on fire? Let's find out. No. I hear beeping though. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah. Up. It's got that famous ticking sound. I don't know if you can hear that because I got the air conditioner running in here, but nothing is turning on. No fans are spinning. There's a red light on slightly on that one, but looks like this fan is spinning. Okay. It's that infamous, famous ticking noise. Is it the C8 capacitor? Is it multiple capacitors? I don't know. But let's tear this shit apart and let's get to the bottom of this son of a bitch. First things first, before we start digging into the backside of this, is we're gonna unplug our unit. That's the first step. I just want to say, when I opened up this fridge, it smells like pickles. So I don't know if the dude was who owned this fridge before had some pickles in there, and it just who knows, but it smells like pickles completely. Needs to be cleaned out completely. I picked this one up for $5, so let's see if I can fix it and make a profit on this thing, because that would be nice. So we're gonna start taking all the screws off. We're gonna put them in our bag here, and away we go. Here we go. In the bag they go. One more screw. Look at that. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Woo! Woo! Look what we got here. Let's put this up there. Let's take a look. Okay, we got, let's see here. This is the circuit board for the upper, which that one I hear a bunch of buzzing noise. This one was still spinning, so I'm not convinced that this board is damaged at all, but once we check the capacitors and either change capacitors or whatever we need to do, and we put it back in there, it starts working, then we'll go down to the second board here and we'll check all the capacitors on here, just refresh it if it needs to, but we'll check it with our meter. This looks like it's a noise filter for the power that goes in. This looks like it's a control board. Of course, everything is either red and black or black and black. So we're gonna take a Sharpie. We're just going to use that so we can identify where each one of these cables goes. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to get my dikes, my diagonal cutters, for all you people that get all offended by shit. My diagonal cutters. Yeah, this one goes here. That's pretty self-explanatory. But all the rest of these are black and red for positive and negative, but you don't want to mix them up because then you're going to have stuff that's not operating correctly. I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to literally draw on the connector and the cable itself, and I'm going to start unhooking. So right here, I just unhooked this one right here. This looks like it goes to the fan, and this one goes to the pelter, it looks like. So good. So I got like a little pink Sharpie right here, just kind of going over it. And I'm also going to color the connector that it goes to, so that way it's pretty easy to put back together and there's no bullshit. Let's do green. Why the hell not, right? I got green, so I'm just gonna do green on the outside right here, and I'm just gonna highlight it on the board because it's actually black, so that way I'll know, okay, that one goes over there. Even though I already know where these guys go, I'm still just gonna put a little color on there. That way you just know. There's no guessing game. Look at that. It's gonna be freaking amazing. Red for this guy right here. All right, red. Look at that. Oh my goodness, beautiful red. We have all these sons of bitches marked now. Now we can pull the board and see what the funk is all about with this son of a bitch. So I got one screw right there. Yes, I'm going to put it in the bag. Hooray, it's out. Screws are going in the bag. Now, at first glance, I don't see anything wrong with the board. I bet you that's one of these capacitors. This board, because they make two different versions of this board. If you ever find yourself having to get into the board and you just don't want to even take the time to replace capacitors on a circuit board or whatever, yes, you can buy boards that are brand new. You can get them from eBay, Alibaba. There's options like that. And you get them for probably 40 bucks a board. You throw it in there and it's good to go. If you do that, you need to take note right here. This one says 10.5 volts. On this particular board. There are other ones that are 12.5. So you need to specify that when you're looking for the specific board, because they look exactly the same. There's almost no difference at all. I think just with the couple of the components on here are different, but ultimately you wouldn't know basically. So a lot of times it's written on the board, and this one happens to be 10.5 volts. I'm not a person that's gonna go and buy a new board. Why? Capacitors are cheap. A little soldering skill to desolder it and put a new one on there and you're good to go. So that's what we're gonna end up doing, but let's get this on the bench and do some basic testing first. Welcome back to Punky's dirty ass bench again. We're gonna do some basic tests on this board. I've done enough of these to know which capacitor to kind of check first, just because I've repaired lots of these boards. And it seems like it's always the C8 capacitor that's on the 12 volt side or the 10 volt side, which is this side right here. And that's this guy right there. Let me see if I can point at it better. It's usually this guy. Now, it's not always gonna be that situation, but this guy typically is the one that is faulty. So we are going to check it with my capacitance meter here, and we're gonna check it out and see if that is a bad cap or not. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pre-mark all the caps on this so I can check where they're at. It's easier for me to spot. Okay, so this is the C8, which looks like it's this guy right there. I think it's this guy right there. Yep. We got this cap right here. There's two side by side right here. This guy and this guy. There's one in the corner here. And I'm just telling you, like 90% of the time, it's usually just that C8 cap. Why? I don't know. Maybe they used a crappy capacitor when they were building the board. I don't know, but it just seems like it's always the freaking case. I think I got them all. So I don't know if you can tell, camera, but they are actually marked. There's purple markings right here of the different capacitors that we can check to see what the buzz is all about with them. And we're gonna start checking it. We're gonna start with the C8 capacitor. Why? Because it always has a fucking problem. So we're gonna zero out this meter right here. Bam. Okay, that's zeroed out enough for me. Let's start testing caps. Okay, starting with the C8 capacitor. Are we ready? Here we go. We got a bad cap with a high ESR. Okay, which one is that? Let's see. That's a bad cap right here. This guy. The C8. Why it always fails, I do not know. It's usually always the C8. Every single one of these boards, it's always the C8 cap. So, now granted, it's not always the C8 cap. Sometimes other ones can go bad, but typically, almost every time I do a thermoelectric fridge with this same style board, the C8 cap is usually the culprit of this whole thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unsolder him, and we're gonna get out my other caps so we can replace it. I'm just gonna go through and test these other caps real quick while I'm here. That's good cap, 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 and our bad cap with a high ESR, that one. Let's see. That's the only bad cap we have. What we're gonna do is we're gonna unsolder it with my desoldering gun. We're gonna pull this cap out. We're gonna put a new cap in it. Here we go. Almost out. So close. Almost there. Got it. Okay. The stripe is the negative on the capacitor. We're gonna check it. What do you know? Bad cap with high ESR. I'm sure you're all wondering, like, why does my fridge not work? What's going on here? This particular one, 25 volt, 47 microfarad cap. Okay. 47 microfarad, 25 volts, right here. Cool, all right. It's a good cap. The negative is going towards this little noise filter deal, so I'm gonna stick it through there. plug in this iron. It's gonna get up to temperature. This one is done for right now. I'm getting my solder now. Gonna solder this into the board. All right, looks like it's in there. I'm gonna get my dikes or diagonal cutters. Snip, snip. Yep, okay, good. And these ones are not making contact together. Nope, okay, good. Let's put it inside the fridge and see what happens. So I'm not gonna put the entire fridge back together. I'm just gonna mount the circuit board there in such a way just to see if it comes back to life. Let's see what happens. Gonna plug this one into here since it matches the color. This one will go into here. Looks like our red one right here. Go there. Those ones are plugged in. We have this guy, which is gonna go into here. I believe this is for the fan. Okay, we got the fan in there. We have the power. We're gonna plug that in right now. Maybe we'll put 2 screws in just to keep it in place so we can test it. Now we're gonna plug it in and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, everything seems like it's plugged in the way it should be. That's good. Here we go. I see fan spinning. Look at that. We got that lower. Cool. So we got 46 on this side, 54 on that side. All right, and the ultimate test is we're gonna let it run for a bit to see if it works. But already it's operating. It's already it's doing its job. It's gonna work. Not bad for $5. You know, it's we're gonna clean this thing up, get the pickle smell out of there. We'll flip it. It's gonna be great. That means that it's cooling when the green and the red lights are lit up. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna clean it up because it still has some funk in there. I'm still gonna go through and clean all the other boards up. Maybe add some thermal paste to the pelters on it, just because when I sell these things, I service them and they go out almost, I wouldn't say brand new, but they're pretty much totally refurbished because I pull the pelters off, take all the old thermal paste off it, I put new thermal paste on there, I clean the fans, clean the inside, because I want the customer to be happy and enjoy a wine fridge for a long time. She's been running for a few hours. Right now it says the top rack is at 54 degrees and the bottom rack is at 46 degrees, which is perfect because I have those on the lowest settings. The top one only goes to 54 and the bottom one, the lowest it goes is to 46. So the bottom one is technically for your white wines and then this top one is for your red wines. But let's do a check with the meter here. I got the meter going. It looks like 47 degrees, 44 degrees, so that's accurate. And in here, look at that, about 54 degrees. She's doing her job. So the next step for me is I'll probably do it off camera so I don't have to bore you with it, but I'm gonna pull all these parts off and I'm gonna clean them very well. I'm gonna pull this circuit board off, and as a precaution, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the capacitor on the 12-volt side on the bottom board as well, because every single one of these boards with these Aishi capacitors that they have in there, they're just junk. I don't know what it is, and Aishi is supposed to be a reparable capacitor as well, but every one of them, they always go out. And right now it's working, but I'm gonna sell this fridge to somebody and I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna fail, or at least the bottom part will fail, because that capacitor is gonna take a shit. I wanna prevent all that. I want the customer to be happy. I want it to last a long time. So I'm gonna just do the extra mile and replace that capacitor, clean everything up behind here, spray the circuit board down with the cleaner, take the fans off and use some electrical cleaner inside of them to make them nice and extra clean, get any kind of dirt out of here, clean the bottom tray. And of course, I'm gonna clean the inside too because it still smells like pickles. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I hope you learned something. Maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. I never know what I'm gonna fix next, and maybe you could learn something from one of my videos. Who knows? We'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.